Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Greetings, Koopalings! Welcome to this week's episode of the Nintendo Shack Podcast, episode 344. It is Echoes of Wisdom launch week, and breaking, Nintendo will not be involved in any type of game console war. Dun, dun, dun. Their time with the war of the 90s and 80s and 90s is over.
It's over.
It's over. I am here
Peace
with Delvin. I'm here with Delvin and not Donnie, so it's a party this week.
Frisk took his place.
Frisk is here, demanding attention.
Yes.
He has been such a cuddle bug lately, and he has been very well behaved, I will say.
The
He's
third host of Nintendo Shack.
He is, I know. He has a lot of things to say.
Yeah, and it's just like, hey, you can't see my face, you just see my ass the whole show. Like,
he's funny. He's very silly. How are you doing this week, Delvin? I am over my sickness. Hopefully you're doing well.
oh, no, a little bit.
Yeah, a little
See,
bit.
you guys were sick, and then like Saturday night, my blood pressure like went up really high.
What?
Yeah, but I'm feeling fine now. It's still a little high, but it's getting better. It's going down now, so I just have.
Was there a cause of that?
I have no clue what it was.
Did you go to the hospital?
Of course not. No, I go to the hospital. Why would I do that? Just
Well, you could have been in an emergency situation.
Just took the old.
You need to take your health seriously.
I did. I'm doing better now.
Okay, good.
So it's
Good.
going
And
down.
you survived all the Florida hurricanes,
Yeah.
thankfully.
Well, nothing is bad here, so that's good.
Yeah, I've seen some crazy footage out of like Western North Carolina. Have you seen some of that?
No, I haven't. I think it was down here in North Florida with the gators were just in the water chilling.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they were like, all right, it's time for supper.
You'll see people like walking through floodwater like that. Never do that ever.
Don't do that. That's
Don't
terrible.
do that. That's bad.
Especially in Florida, because one, there's gators, and two, that floodwater 90% of the time
Sewage,
has sewage and poop.
trash, sharp objects. Ugh.
Especially in Florida. It is disgusting.
No, but Western North Carolina got hit really hard. There's like an entire town, Asheville, I think it is, just got decimated. Like totally crazy.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
I love North Carolina. North Carolina's awesome.
I know. Yeah. Hurricane damage. I know that you guys are used to it, but like it's horrible. It's just like you're, submit yourself to the forces of nature. It's like
sometimes
nothing you can do.
Yeah, sometimes that's kind of just a reality check that no matter what you do in life, man, if a hurricane, tornado, or earthquake come, ain't shit you can do about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My cousin's house got hit pretty hard. I was watching some videos and they cannot be living there. It is like everything is water soaked. Everything, like it's all messed up. All the walls.
Hopefully they had flood insurance and hurricane insurance and all that stuff you need.
Probably. I would imagine. Do most people in Florida, especially like on the coastal areas, have that? I would imagine.
Absolutely not.
No? What?
That shit is so expensive.
But like, it's something
you can't
that
afford
you need.
that.
It's something you need. Like, it could happen to you, Delvin.
That's why they charge the absurd amount of money they charge.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's so expensive.
It's like a second mortgage.
God.
No, you don't have that.
Oh boy. Well, hopefully after your health got a little bit better, you got to enjoy some video games. Specifically, have you been playing Echoes of Wisdom?
Yeah, I played some of it this morning.
Did you just started it this morning?
Just started this morning.
Oh my gosh. Tell me how far you've gotten and what you think so far, because I am a lot farther.
Far at all. I've gotten past the intro.
Okay.
I've made a chair.
Okay.
A bookshelf or whatever the fuck that was. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Okay, so you got past like I guess it's like kind of the tutorial level where you go in as Link, you try to save Zelda. They throw you into a Ganon fight right away.
Which is cool. I love
It
that.
is cool. I kind of wondered if it would be like an unbeatable battle type of situation where like he's invincible and it takes you down to 0 hearts before something happens, but you actually can beat him.
Yeah, I kicked his ass.
Kicked his butt.
I whooped Ganon's ass. He didn't even get a hit on me. I was talking trash and everything.
I really like that you were able to use arrows and bombs kind of like in the traditional sense in Zelda. You're able to jump for the first time as Link. I was really kind of using those mechanics as much as I could as Link before, I knew that they were going to get taken away from me.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was I found myself as playing as Link and as Zelda for a matter, like kind of want a dash button.
Like the Pegasus boots or something like in the older
games. Like
that's a good point because I feel like traversal is kind of slow. I've been using that little. Did you get the part where you can spin as Zelda? You can like press the R button and kind of like twirl. I thought it was gonna do damage, but it doesn't. So that speeds it up a little bit. But you're right. Like I feel like there should be a dash, and I hope that maybe we get some kind of like boots or something that makes us go faster. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. The story is fun. It's very cute and adorable. Very cutesy Zelda and adorable. I like that it kind of feels like a spiritual successor to Link to the Past in many ways.
And there's a lot of like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom DNA baked into this, I feel like, especially with like the mechanics of echoing things and like just, how the world works, I guess, like how you can be so creative with like, I can't figure out how to get past this mob of enemies, so I'll, build some tables and hop over the trees to get past them. Like you can do that. It is so interesting to me. Like I played a little bit and then I was like watching Josh and I was watching some other streamers play the same parts that I had already played through and watching them do some puzzles totally different than the way that I did it. It like just feels like it's Tears of the Kingdom as a top-down game.
Yeah, and I also appreciate that they explained why Zelda doesn't have like a weapon.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you get in the game, like, oh, that's why she doesn't have a weapon. That's why she has a sword when she starts the game up or anything like that. Okay, that makes sense.
They do a good job, I think, of like baking the lore into it, in ways throughout the game. And they'll do even more of that. Like you're going to see as you progress a little bit further, some of the lore with like the king and like Zelda not knowing who Link is. She doesn't know who this Link is. She called him a swordsman in green, I think is what she called him. Like she didn't know that it was Link. So there is a lot of like story baked into it as well. You probably haven't gotten to any of the dungeons yet. You probably just got through the opening area.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about your thoughts. What is your history with playing like the top-down Zelda games? Like
Link
how
to
many?
the Past, one of my favorite games of all time.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, me too. Okay, so yeah. I feel like this is the first time that we've had traditional dungeons in a Zelda game since A Link Between Worlds on the 3DS. Wow. And these are really good ones. Like even the first dungeon, I felt like it had some depth to it. Like it was pretty meaty. It did not feel like a first dungeon experience. It was, pretty long. Had some really good puzzles in it. All of the boss. So let me tell you, I've done 5 dungeons so far. I just finished my 5th dungeon last night. So I'm like pretty far. I'm like a little bit more than halfway through the game, I think, at this point.
Yeah, this is not a long game, so yeah.
And so I've done 5 dungeons and all of the bosses so far have been really cool. I feel like, it's not the traditional sense that you're getting an item in the dungeon that helps you with the boss, but like you're learning echoes in the dungeon, which I think helps you get through it and, get through a lot of the puzzles. Like each of the dungeons have like a specific echo that really helps you get through the dungeon. So I feel like that's kind of in the place of, a key item. But I love that it's not just like in Tears of the Kingdom where you have to light, or hit 5 switches, and there's not like a whole lot of theme to the dungeon. Like these are the traditional dungeons that I have been waiting for.
That's great.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like a just getting back to what made Zelda great in the first place.
It is. It totally is. Like, it feels so refreshing. I am so happy playing it. I saw you put up XVS's comment. I thought the midpoint was the end of the first dungeon initially. There's a lot of people who think that, it's the Zelda formula. Like, not, maybe this is a giant spoiler, but the Zelda formula of 3 dungeons in the beginning, a turning point in the game, and then more dungeons that are a lot harder after that. That's back. That's what this game is.
And that's great.
It's so great. Grezzo did a fantastic job of this. I am having so much fun. And the side quests, they're fun. There's like mini games. I got my horse. I like riding around on the horse, Delvin.
That sounds good. That sounds really good. That's going to help with the traversal a lot.
It is very fun. Yeah.
I appreciate that we're getting this caliber of games this close to the console's end. Even though it's really not a console end. What is a console end at this point? Because they just really just continue on like, okay, here's the newer version of it, but you can still play the old versions of these games as well now. So it's not really a console cycle ending as much as just a refresh.
Especially if it's backwards compatible, which it seems like it will be. I think, these games aren't going anywhere. You can still buy them for the console. So you're right. It's not like ending.
Yeah. Just a refresh, up-res.
I have not heard any of Donnie's thoughts. I don't know if he shared any thoughts yet on Echoes of Wisdom. I'm very
not
curious
even a little
about.
bit.
He hasn't shared.
He's been gone all week.
I am almost afraid that he is going to come back and be like, "It's so disappointing." It's not what I wanted, because I feel like that's always what happens whenever he's so excited for a game.
I honestly don't know, because we haven't talked much this whole weekend. Even because, he's been out of town doing his thing. And even then, I've been doing, like, all the shows. So I'm, like, extremely tired of myself.
I know.
Yeah, but yeah, I would, the first time, for people who are wondering, he will be back tomorrow because we have to record Decade of Horror.
Okay.
So I think he just got back in the Discord. What I say, late yesterday? He finally came out of Discord, but he's been, like, tuned out of everything. So I would be very interested to hear his thoughts on the game, what he thinks of it, which we'll probably most likely hear next week.
I also feel like there's a very, very, very vocal minority of people talking about how trash the frame rate is and performance is, but like, I really haven't noticed anything bad. And I don't know if that's just me being me, or if these people are like exaggerating, or maybe they're playing on like a day one Switch and I'm playing on, my refreshed OLED. I don't know, but I haven't had any issues that were.
I've had one problem, and it had nothing to do with the game. It had something to do with my controller.
Oh.
So let me tell you what happened. So I bought Epic Mickey for my son this week. I don't know if people know, I was cracking jokes about him, not because he wanted it and he didn't have any money to get it. So, and that's like one of his favorite games when he was a kid. So I bought Epic Mickey for him, and one of the pre-order bonuses was a controller skin, not a controller shell for this controller that you can use for Switch or PC.
Okay.
And it's an Epic Mickey. Let me go grab it real quick.
That sounds like it's a really good bonus. I feel like there's a lot of bonuses, and that is a really good one.
This is
it.
It's pretty cool. And what it is
wait, that was a pre-order bonus?
It's just the shell of it, the front shell of it.
Okay, that you like snap it on.
You snap it off.
That's cool.
And the controller's called Candy Con.
Okay.
It's really cool. What it is it's a controller where you can just change the face plates on it. You can change the buttons and stuff like on it like that. See how it looks?
And it's Bluetooth. It works with anything?
It works with the Switch, and it works with PC. And so when they gave me the shell, I'm like, this is pretty cool. Like, yeah, only thing you need is a Candy Con controller.
Whoa.
The controller's $30.
And are there good shells for it?
Oh yeah, they're pretty good shells for it.
That's cool. What a great really concept.
Cool. So I got this. The controller itself was $30. So let me just get it. And they gave me another faceplate with it as well. So you can pick out whatever faceplate you want. So I got 2 faceplates with it for free. This one, of course, that came with Epic Mickey, and another one that is somewhere over there. But
That's
I
great.
guess when I put the buttons on, because you have to put these, because you can swap out the buttons, you can swap out all these pieces right here. You can swap out and
That's
put different color.
great. I love that.
I think when I put the buttons on, the B button got stuck.
Oh.
So when I was starting the game, Zelda would just keep jumping.
Oh, like it was like pressed down. It was.
Yeah, but that wasn't a big problem. Like like I'd have to like shake it a little bit and it's unshook. But otherwise than
Okay.
that, this is a great controller, especially as long as $30.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my
And
gosh,
it's
with how expensive
Bluetooth.
controllers are now, that's cool.
Bluetooth, you can customize it the way you want to customize it. It's really cool. I like it a lot.
Nice. I like that. I might have to pick one of those up. That's really cool. Okay, so I'm very excited to hear next week. You'll keep playing it. I want to hear your
Yes.
thoughts on at least the first dungeon.
I'll probably play it today.
You
After
should.
I'll probably get to the first dungeon and play it.
I'm gonna play more today. I feel like I've had a couple of like jaw-dropping moments already. Like, oh, so many cool things.
I like the justification of it. How I like the juxtaposition of it looking so adorable and cute, and there's so many like grim and dark elements of it.
Yeah, the still world is like kind of creepy. Like
Yeah.
they don't really hold back with like talking about how, they are sucked into the void and they, become possessed and there's some really, I'm not going to spoil it, but like there's a couple of things that happen when they get sucked into the void that like I was like, "Whoa, they went
Yeah.
there."
Even like the beginning, like oh, not to spoil it, but they're talking about killing Zelda.
Yeah, she was. I
Like,
mean, I feel
what?
like most people have played the intro by now if they're listening to
Yeah.
this podcast. If not, oh well. Yeah, that she was gonna be executed. I was like, whoa, they're actually talking about executing Princess Zelda.
Yeah, I'm like that's kind of wild. But
Yeah.
I'm really digging the story. It's like it's very different than Tears of the Kingdom, and I like that it is. I like that it's just a little bit more simplistic, fun version of the game, and I'm really digging the story so far. It's great.
Yeah. The one thing that I will complain about is, at this point I've gotten a lot of echoes, like a ton of them. And the sorting, it's kind of like in Tears of the Kingdom where like you can sort it by, most used, last used, how many little triangles that it takes. But I wish that there was a way to favorite certain ones because like in one area I might really need to be using a certain echo, but I haven't used it enough for it to pop up on my, most used. And so I wish I could like favorite a couple of them that like I really want to come back to at certain points. Because it is a drag when I learn a new echo and I have to like alternate between that one and one that I use a lot. And I have to be like scrolling all the way down to the end of the list and then scrolling all the way back up to the beginning. Like it's very clunky at times in that regard, like especially if I'm in the middle of combat or like in the middle of a puzzle and I'm just trying to like do it. So I think the controls could be reworked a little bit. It's just there's so many. Like you're not even at the point where like you've learned all of the controls yet. There's still more mechanics that are added to it. And there's so much, like I feel like it has so much depth that like just the buttons that it's assigned to, like it gets confusing a little bit. And I watched my dad play the opening because my dad plays Zelda. I was over his house yesterday for him to start it. And I think he got as far as you did, Delvin. Like he just like got out of the castle and then stopped. And like the controls were, it's a lot to learn. I feel like especially if you're not somebody who plays a lot of video games, it's a lot. So
yeah, is that right? XBS was saying that Twilight Princess is still the only T-rated mainline game, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, because I think like stuff like Age of Calamities might be, but that's not a mainline.
Mainline, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, unless I don't think Tears of the Kingdom is.
I just checked. It's 10 and up.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And that kind of surprised me. Like, oh.
I think the reason why Twilight Princess is T is because they have references to alcohol.
Oh,
at like Telma's bar and stuff. Like I think she's drinking. So I think that might be why. I could be wrong.
Okay, that makes sense because Zelda games in general get dark at some points. Like they get really dark. Like even
Yeah.
in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Like, oh, this is a little spooky. I dig it.
I like those kind of games where it's a little bit darker. But it is funny, the juxtaposition of it being like cutesy little toy Zelda, and then it's like all the dark elements of it. Oh, it's so
I want to
good.
murder you.
It's so
What's
good.
going on? It is. I like it. I dig it a lot.
So yeah, we'll be playing more of that this week. Donnie will be back next week. This is gonna be my game of the year. I already know it. But I think it's also gonna place very high in my ranking of Zelda games. So we will see when I'm finished with it where it
Top
lands.
5?
At least.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
high praise.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you can say that top 5 when you can even make a top 10 Zelda list games.
It's so
And-
hard to rank
and
them.
And a great deal of those probably would be in most people's top 50 games of all time. Wow. What an incredible franchise when you think about it.
It is. I know. I feel like every Zelda, like even a bad Zelda game, I've said this before, even a bad Zelda game is still better than most other video games.
Yeah. just think, like, I think Breath of the Wild probably would put in the top 10 of all time, probably. I probably think some people put that there. I think they'll probably put Ocarina maybe.
Yeah.
Wow.
So good. It's my favorite for a reason.
They've done the work to make that franchise just last.
And I'm glad that they're giving Grezzo kind of the freedom to do that. There was, a cool developers interview about, talking about working with Grezzo and kind of giving them the reins of it. And I'm glad, like they apparently took a bunch of ideas. They had like 3 days of idea brainstorming. And just went and took all the ideas and like parsed through them and decided what would be most interesting, what would work. This was originally designed as a Zelda dungeon maker game. What if you were able to copy all of these elements from Zelda games and place them wherever you want, and it turns into a dungeon?
That'd be cool.
My dream game. And then Miyamoto saw that and was like, wow, like I like this idea, but what if the player could do it and, it was within existing dungeons? So that's kind of how it came to be.
Miyamoto was like, nah, fam, you can't make no Zelda dungeon maker.
Broke my heart a little bit, but I'm glad
not.
I'm glad that we have this. That we have this.
I get it though. Like, if you make a Zelda dungeon maker, then you won't want to play our dungeons.
Exactly.
No, you can't do
that. So yeah, this is a very good experience. I hope everybody is having a good time with it as well.
Yeah, I hope so too.
We will discuss it more. This will not be the end.
I'm quite sure next week we'll be discussing it a lot.
Because I feel like I don't want to say too many things right now because, like, one, you haven't played, as far as I have, and I'm sure a lot of people have not played as far as I have. So yeah. I'll say a little bit more each week. How's that?
Yeah. Then hopefully Donnie comes in. Hopefully he likes the game.
I hope so. My heart will be broken if he doesn't.
Yeah. I don't want him to come in. I don't know, Bex.
I'm just not really vibing with it, and the performance is atrocious.
Anytime you hear that, I don't know, Beck, like, here we go.
I don't even think I'm going to finish it.
There's the line.
Mark my words. Yeah. Good line. He's like, there's no golf mini game. 0 out of 10. All right. Shall I jump into we don't really have a lot of news stories to talk about this week. Do you want me to cover the news and then you can read us the questions at the end?
That works. We got a lot of questions, so that's good.
I know. Yeah, there's you guys really come through when we don't have a lot of news. Okay, so Nintendo says they want to be left out of the console wars. In an interview with Famitsu, while discussing the new Nintendo Museum, which, by the way, you can get big plushies of all of the console controllers. Like, you can get a big plushy Wii remote or a big plushy N64 controller. It's so cool. I
That
gotta
sounds
go to
awesome.
that museum. I want to go so badly. Anyway, Miyamoto explains the importance of generations learning the history of Nintendo. He says, I hope that they will understand Nintendo and not get involved in what is sometimes called the game war, such as high specs and how to improve the performance of game consoles. He also stated Nintendo will continue to make products that are uniquely Nintendo using various technologies available in the world today, and we will continue to create not only games, but also entertainment content. The museum opens on October 2nd.
In
I
Kyoto,
like
Japan.
this about Nintendo. Yeah, in Japan, it's in Japan. I like this about Nintendo. I feel like they have always been ahead by doing absolutely nothing. They,
Yeah.
the other consoles are like, I have higher specs. I have the better console. I have, more performance, more power. And Nintendo's just like, hey, what if you could wave the controller around and it's motion? Or what
I
if it was a clamshell?
I like that Nintendo just seems like they just want to make games and make games that are
Mm-hmm.
fun. That's their whole thing. We want to do what we want to do. We don't need to have the biggest specs. We don't need to get into this whole console war thing where we make the strongest console, the most powerful console ever.
They
No,
just want it to be fun.
just make a fun console that everybody can enjoy. I think that's really
That's
in
their
the
MO.
grand scheme of things. That's what game is about. Just like sitting down, playing something that you enjoy with your friends and family, and just having a good time. And Nintendo kind of gets that.
And I feel like that's what is, we talked last week. What are the gaming companies? Like, what is the big three that's going to be around in 50 years? And I feel like that is what has enabled them to still be part of that conversation in the future, because they're not, there's diminishing returns. I feel like after a certain point in specs, at least at this point, because looking at the remasters of these games that we just got, like Horizon Zero, what is it? Horizon Zero Dawn. Is that
That's
the one that
correct.
just
Zero
got a
Dawn.
remaster?
Yes.
Um, the original looks great, you
Yes.
know?
Now 10% more prettier.
And it's like, okay, I can see that it's better, but like it's only gonna get, smaller and smaller returns. And with Nintendo being more innovative and just, focusing on the fun factor, that's what's, I think, enabling them to stay around. So I like it.
Yeah, I do too. Well, let me answer this Jess question real quick. She says, I'm going to play Ocarina of Time for the first time on NSO. Any tips?
Be prepared for it to be very outdated controls.
Yes.
If you have the N64 NSO controller, play with that. It will make your life a little bit better because it is meant to be for that controller. I don't know. I think it's a little bit of a culture shock. The controls going back, how it's not like a 360 range of motion with the camera. You have to like target on things to like switch your view.
I would say have fun with it. If you can, go in as blind as possible. But then once, if it starts getting too hard or too difficult to understand certain elements of it, just look up a guide. Don't be afraid to look up a guide and a map to go certain places and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun to kind of just travel that world and just explore and learn things and be prepared for a long tutorial.
It is a little bit of a long tutorial. They definitely hold your hand through the first part. But then once you're past that first part, like it really opens up a lot more. Like you can explore a lot. Be patient with the controls. I think that is going to be the hardest part if you're not used to N64 games. If you're used to those, then you might not have a problem. But be patient with it, and the game is very, very good.
I agree. One of the best games of all
Let
time.
us know, Jess, what you think. I'm excited to hear
Yeah.
what somebody who's playing Ocarina of Time for the first time in 2024 thinks.
I haven't played that in so long, but yeah, it's a great game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no game wars, y'all. Just play some video games and enjoy them.
Exactly. Going back to Echoes of Wisdom, it's reviewing quite well, sitting at an 86 on Metacritic. There's a couple, I think, outlier scores that were bringing it down a lot. I saw a lot of 9 out of 10s.
I thought I
When I
saw a
was
1.5 from some site I'd never heard of. It's
what?
1.5 out of 5. Like, all right, bro, I'm not listening.
Like, come on. Like, I can understand having like a low score if you're not into it that much, but like, let's be real, it's not a 1 out of 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, that bodes well for my fantasy critic team because I have this game. Yay. Where is my super suit? Mr. and Mrs. Incredible arrives on Fortnite.
And Frozone.
And Frozone. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay. I thought
that's
you
where
were...
that line comes from.
Yeah, I know he said that. I wasn't... Okay. So Frozone is
Yeah.
in it too. Cool. That is very cool. Are these the first Disney Pixar characters on Fortnite?
Pixar, I think so.
That's
Disney,
pretty
no,
cool.
because Disney owns everything now. Like,
Oh.
because Marvel, Star Wars, all
Oh,
that Disney
yeah.
stuff.
Okay. Fine. Fair. But what about like Disney original? Like, are there any other like
That's a good question.
Cinderella in Fortnite kind of thing?
That would be dope.
That would be so funny.
They should be.
Jules says it's the first Pixar characters. That is
Okay.
very cool. And I feel like those are really good ones to add. Like it's just a no-brainer. Like if you're going to add anyone, it's going to be them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I love how
you should add
Fortnite is like
Woody
just such...
and Buzz.
Ooh, that would be cool. That would be very cool. It's so cool to me how like Fortnite is the metaverse. It's like it's such a conglomerate of every IP out there that you can think of.
I just looked that up, XPS, and Cruella de Vil, I think she's supposed to be coming soon, it says.
Oh.
Cruella de Vil and Captain Hook.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I think, is this right? Is Mickey and Goofy already in Fortnite?
What?
That can't be right.
I would be so surprised if they let Mickey be in it. Mickey with a gun?
That'd be awesome.
Is Mickey Mouse... Oh my god, I typed into Google, is Mickey Mouse, and the auto suggestions? First one. Is Mickey Mouse gay?
Probably. Hey.
Mickey Mouse in Fortnite. I don't know. It's so hard to tell. It's hard to tell like what's real and like what is like a fan created thing. If my son was
broke, he would be able to tell me. He's asleep now.
Okay. Well, either way, that is very cool. Oh yeah, Disney did do that huge investment in it. I forgot like a couple months ago, or maybe it was a year ago at this point. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
Donald Duck would be cool in the game.
Yeah. That's very cool.
DuckTales cast.
Oh, I love DuckTales. We need Nintendo to get in on it. Like, I feel like, remember when there were those rumors of them adding a character? Like, I think, sure, not necessarily Mario, but they should add either Samus or, like, Star Fox or...
Isabelle would be dope.
That would be very funny. That would be objectively the funniest.
Is Doom Guy in Fortnite?
Probably.
Because the Doom Guy's in Fortnite,
Isabelle should be.
Him and Isabelle just hanging out.
They could team up.
Yeah, I like it.
Bonus if you use them both on the same team.
I like it.
Yeah, Nintendo needs to get in on it. They're very, I feel like, protective over who they let using their IP, but I feel like it would only make sense. Give Samus a gun.
Yeah.
She already has an arm gun. All right. The iPhone's popular Delta Emulator will soon have online play for DS games. That's cool. Developer Riley Testu announced it by showing a video of an online race at Mario Kart on Threads. The online features are powered by Melon DS, which will connect to third-party Nintendo servers. This means that not only the 10 million Delta users will have access, but anyone who has a DS connected to the server will also have access and play against Delta players. That's awesome because that just opens up the pool. I feel like there's already, tens of thousands of people who have it, on their hack DS or whatever, or computers or wherever they are emulating DS games. And now Delta players can join in on that.
I didn't realize there were still like they're like third-party servers and you can still play like DS games. And that's pretty freaking cool.
Yep, and they're making servers for 3DS and Wii U games now.
That is cool. I wonder how they maintain those servers up.
I know. I don't know. I don't question it.
Yeah, I don't either. Let me just stay quiet and never mind.
I know. Try not to talk about it too much, or else Nintendo will step in.
That is awesome, though.
No, but that is really cool, and it makes me want to play more DS games on that emulator because, you know, like especially Pokemon where like you want to trade or like, you know, things like that.
That can be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That emulator is really popular.
It's good. It is a good one. Like I feel like I've always been opposed to like playing those types of games on my phone, but the DS ones especially feel like they are made for it because of the touch. It works perfectly.
That is awesome.
It works so perfectly. Don't be afraid.
Right.
All right, and then the last thing I just added here last minute, there was a Life is Strange double exposure director's interview. And they did talk a little bit about the Switch version of the game. So I won't get into everything about the interview. You can find I found it on Nintendo Life, where they discussed it all. But I did want to talk here about the Switch version of the game because it looks like it is not going to come at the same time as all the other consoles. So, quote, the group doing the Nintendo port is called Engine Software. They've done a good job working with us to make sure the game is as good as possible on that platform. We use some advanced features of Unreal, Lumen, and Nanite in particular that would be difficult to use on Switch. So, they're having to relight the game with baked lighting instead of dynamic lighting. The ports of Life is Strange collection were atrocious. Horrible. It was so bad. So I really hope that they are doing it differently this time. It really sucks that it has to come out later because I feel like that's going to definitely hurt sales. I'm not going to get it on Switch because I want to play it right away. But that being said, like for people who are waiting for the Switch version or maybe like are going to double dip, I really hope for all their sakes that like they do a better job because I advise people not to buy the collection on Switch or any of them on Switch just because they're so bad.
Here's my hot take.
And that's coming from me, somebody who doesn't care about that stuff. That's how bad it is.
Here's my hot take. It's a little controversial. Just wait till Switch 2. Put it on Switch 2.
Probably. Maybe they are waiting for that and they just don't want to say it.
Yeah, just put it on Switch 2.
Yeah.
That way you get a version that's going to work pretty good. That's going to probably impress people. Like, oh, this actually runs really good. You know, just hold on to it, put it on Switch 2.
Yeah.
If anything, make it a collector's edition. Put some cool things in it, make people want to go back and get it. Yeah, just do that.
Especially if it's going to take that long to get it out anyway. I mean, they haven't even given a timeline, but I would imagine it'll be at least a couple months.
Yeah.
That's how much it usually is. I think they fixed a lot of problems with these Switch versions of I think it's called the Arcadia Bay Collection. I think they did fix it, but when it released, it was hot garbage. It was like
it was horrible,
glitchy. It was broken. It was, you know, the audio didn't like sync up with the visuals. They were like T-posing all the time. Like it was bad. I think they fixed most of it, but I still advise people to even buy the original. Just everything about the remastered collection was bad.
Yeah, I agree. We'll switch to do 4K. Probably dock mode, I think it would.
I don't think the leaks, if you are to trust them, are saying that it will. But, I mean, who knows?
Yeah, it wouldn't need to, though.
What percent chance do you give to... What is Metaphor Fantasio?
That is the game that's made by the creators of the Persona series. Looks really good. It's another Persona game, but it's just a different franchise in it.
How many Persona games are there? There's so many.
A lot. But this is like makes from the makers of Persona. It looks really cool. I would say if I were to guess, I'd say it's a 60% chance of it coming on Switch 2.
A little bit more than 50-50?
Yeah, I think they can bring it to Switch too.
Okay.
Looks really good.
Don't they bring? They've brought a couple Persona games to Switch.
Yes, they have. They brought the original ones like 3 and 4, I think, on Switch. It's they brought like a couple other ones. What's the spinoff they brought? They brought the spinoffs there. It's a few Persona games on there,
Yeah, I
and they
can't
have
remember.
the other spinoff they have. I can't remember the name of it though, but the other spinoff is on Shin Megami Tensei. Thank you. Shin Megami Tensei 5
Oh,
is on Switch. I think that was
isn't
Switch exclusive for a while.
isn't Persona a spinoff of that?
That's correct.
Okay.
It's the other way around.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. All right, that is our news for this week. I feel like it has just been a lot of playing Echoes of Wisdom, talking about Echoes of Wisdom, thinking about Echoes of Wisdom. We're in the meat of it now, where
Dreaming of
we're
Echoes
deep
of
in the
Wisdom.
games. What are you doing? Stop that! Stop biting. He wants all the attention.
Of course he does.
Why don't you hit us with some chat questions directly from our listeners, Delvin?
Okay. Rebecca, is your mother in chat?
Probably.
God damn it.
She listens to all of our shows. She listens for you, Delvin. She doesn't listen for me.
Oh, then in that case, hi, Rebecca's mom. Our first question from Kyle the fucking pug.
F you, Kyle the pug.
We touched on this earlier, so we'll touch a little more. What are your first overall impressions so far of Echoes of Wisdom, and where does it rank on your favorite Zelda games? Also, how does it compare and differ from the previous top-down Zelda games?
Ooh, I will tackle that last question. How does it compare to other top-down Zelda games? I feel like it's in a weird space of like, it's a mix between the top-down games and the 3D games, because you've never been able to Z-target in other top-down games. There's my mom. She said hi. There, sure, you can't have like full 360 range of your camera, and it is more of like that looking down on it view. With that being said, there is so much more that you could do. Like, you can jump freely, you can navigate freely.
Hold on. Yarden, stop snitching. God damn it, you lost your mind? Rebecca's an angel on streams.
I'm such an angel.
Yes.
So it is more similar, I think, to the top-down games than the 3D games, but it definitely, like I said, it has that DNA of Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. It's definitely very different in that regard. And I don't think we ever said that Nintendo Shack is a PG podcast.
Not with me on it, is it? Absolutely not.
But you know how, like they said with Breath of the Wild, like, we want to break the conventions of Zelda and, have you be able to go wherever you want to go and no boundaries and no, invisible walls or loading screens or things like that. Like, that's kind of what this is. If you don't want to, like, if you want to beeline towards something, hop across the trees, you can do it. You can do it.
Now playing this and playing Tears of the Kingdom, I don't see how they can go back to like loading screens and all that other stuff they used to have. Like, oh no, we're fine with these two type of formulas. This works.
I'm so glad that they brought this back. Like, I'm glad that they found a way to make top-down Zelda games feel more modern.
Yeah.
I really hope this sells well, because I really want Grezzo to keep doing stuff like this.
It did feel like, because of the popularity of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, like we weren't getting these back. It did feel like that for a second.
I was genuinely surprised.
Yeah, so I am happy that they're going back to this type of thing, and they realize, hey, we can do both. Like, hey, when we're not doing the big grand and scale scope Zelda game, you get this one. I'm like, I work.
Well, because it takes it's going to take years and years before we get another 3D mainline game. So I'm glad that they're filling in the gaps with stuff like this. And Grezzo can work on it. It's not taking away any time from the main team.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like how they do with Mario. You get this giant mainline Mario, big 3D adventure game, and you get the 2D one. So, yeah, same thing. I like it.
Perfect.
Grezzo did a great job. All right. Our next question is from Lord Snurts. He asks, you finally snapped, that happened years ago, and ready to take over the world by force if necessary. Which Nintendo villain would you team up with to accomplish your dastardly goal?
I'm picking Ridley because he's my favorite Nintendo villain.
Okay. I like it. It's a good answer.
I love Ridley.
Can I pick Bowsette? For no reason whatsoever.
I'll allow it.
Yes!
They have to put her in a game. They have to do it.
Yes, they have to. Of course.
It's canon now.
It's canon. That's who I'm teaming up to take over the world with. My Cooper bride. Bowsette. Bowser can come along too if he wants to. I know.
No, he'll get in the way. You and Bowsette against the world.
Yeah, Bowser's a fuck up. He doesn't get nothing right. He's just a loser. Oh, man. All right. Our next question is from DJ Johnson. How do you think the Switch 2 will drop? What's the best strategy to have day one?
Ooh. So like how it's going to be announced or how it's going to release?
Let's go announce.
Okay. I think we're going to wake up one random Tuesday and there will be a trailer detailing it at 10 o'clock.
I think so too.
Bowser Watch. I think a lot of people are speculating that they're going to do it at the Game Awards.
That's what I was guessing.
And I think that's possible. It's just like historically they don't really show up for that. They like
knowing
maybe
Nintendo,
sometimes have a game sometimes.
Knowing Nintendo, they'll do it the day of the Game Awards, but not at the Game Awards.
Oh my god, that would be so funny.
I just and see that, and just like you said, no way Nintendo hates Keeley. Like, yeah, that's why they do it the day of the Game Awards and not at the Game Awards. Like, here you go.
Yeah. I mean, Keeley could only dream of them partnering with him for that announcement. I mean, if they're not even announcing games at the Game Awards in recent years, like it's happened, but it's not. It happens less often than it does. I mean, it doesn't happen more often than it does. So yeah, and I think they'd rather just have their own showcase for it, their own trailer for it. They want it to be the only news of the day. I think that is the best strategy.
Yeah, I think if you announce that, that's going to become, no matter what day you announce it, that's going to become the news of the day. Mm-hmm. There are not too many things that's going to overshadow Switch 2's announcement.
And I think the best strategy is they need to be clear, like, you know, because I imagine they're going to show a host of games that will be on the Switch too, but I hope that they'll be like, and this is what's going to be launching with it. The new, you know, 3D Mario game.
Yeah.
So there's not questions. It's like, okay, I'm going to get my pre-order in. This is what I'm getting day one.
Yeah, just show us what's going to launch with it, what's going to be your big system seller, that's the key to it. I think that was a really cool thing about the original Switch. When that launched, we knew, all right, we're getting Breath of the Wild. Mm-hmm. That's the big game we're getting. This is the game we've been waiting for. So everybody's excited for it. So this is what we're going to buy. So everybody went to the store, give us this and Breath of the Wild. And that can hold us down for like a year. Because that's what it kind of did. You had these other games that was what it was cool, but now we wanted Breath of the Wild. Then you had Breath of the Wild. Then at the end of the year, you had Mario Odyssey. I think that kind of formula can still work. Okay. Got one big Zelda game at the beginning of the year, one big Mario game at the end of the year.
They could do a 3D Mario game at launch and then finally give us our Wind Waker, Twilight Princess ports at the end of the year. Yeah. I feel like that would be enough for a lot of people. I'm sure they'll throw in a Splatoon 4, you know, things like that.
Sequel to arms, legs.
Oh, God. I lost that poll, by the way. Donnie ran a poll. But you know what? The comments were like, you know, I wasn't, you know, personally a fan of the game, but it was good. It's like that's glowing praise.
That is not glowing praise.
Whatever. Move on.
Oh man. All right, our next question is from Pork. 'Cause we all love pork. I've been trying to get my girlfriend into video games for a while now, but can't get her to play anything other than Mario Kart or Party. What do I do? Any game recommendations? Those are
Yes.
games. Like,
Well, yeah. Yeah. 2 suggestions. Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley.
that's what I was going to say.
You will
Those are
never
the
get
two
your
exact
Switch back.
ones.
You will never get your Switch back, Pork. So tread lightly.
Yeah.
But stop, Yarden! Stop it! Stop it. Yeah, you will not get your game back.
I know people who don't play any video games, but they play Animal Crossing. So that is the one. So get her own Switch. If you want to get it, get her a Switch Lite. What, like $100 now? Get her a Switch Lite and get an Animal Crossing.
They're $199.
Get an Animal Crossing. Don't they have an Animal Crossing Switch Lite?
Speaking, yes, they do. Speaking of Switch Lites, look at what I got.
That is awesome.
It is the Zelda Gold Switch Lite edition. It is very beautiful. Did you say that they have the OLED replacement screens for the Lite? It's like $50.
I did not know that.
I kind of want to do it. But
how hard is it to do it?
From what I've heard, it's not hard. So and I've done shell modifications. I've taken apart the Pro Controller. I could probably do the screen modification. The only thing that is holding me back from it is that you can't use it as a touch screen after that.
Oh no, don't do it.
Yeah. So that's
if you can't use it as a touch screen, then don't do it then.
Yeah.
They have to make a touchscreen OLED one then eventually.
I know. Maybe I should hold off for that.
Hold off for that. That's what I would say. Because if you're going to take a risk it, go hard or go home. Risk it when you can, all right, I have touchscreen. It's one for one the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because especially if it's the Lite, you're only playing it in handheld, Yeah,
you may need that touchscreen.
Exactly. So... yeah, show her Animal Crossing first, and then Stardew Valley, and say goodbye to your Switch.
There you go. Those are 2 great ones to get her into. I'm trying to think of anything else. A lot of girls I know like puzzle games. Like Peggle and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is Peggle on Switch? I think it
Probably.
is. Stardew Valley. Or Undertale.
Undertale might be kind of hard if she's not used to playing games.
Maybe. I like Undertale.
Oh, maybe a Pokemon game, like Let's Go Eevee or Pikachu. That's very beginner friendly. Very beginner friendly.
And she might like Pokemons. She'll say those are adorable.
They're cute.
And she'll be correct.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Goodbye. He sees something outside.
Yes. He's like Batman, just watching. I know there's crime over there. I'm looking like a superhero.
Neighborhood watch.
Yeah. I appreciate it. All right. Our next question is from Celestin. I think I got that right. Probably didn't. What mechanic from a previous Zelda game do you think should make a return? And as a continuation, how would you implement it into the story?
Not on camera. That's disgusting.
Look, you're about to get us kicked off the stream.
I know. Rated R. Okay, previous mechanic from a previous Zelda game. I really miss musical instruments and using that as a way to do things in the story, whether it's using it to warp or using it to unlock rooms. Call your horse. I miss it. I miss the musical instrument. I liked it in Ocarina. I liked it in, even Twilight Princess had the wolf howling.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I wish it could come back.
I'm not even gonna go that far. I miss being able to climb on everything.
That's just that exists right now.
Yeah, I want to climb everything. No Zelda game should not have me able to climb everything.
Tears of the Kingdom, you can.
Yeah, this one doesn't have it.
Oh, okay.
I kind of want to climb everything.
Okay.
Because when at the beginning of the game we have to build that like chair, whatever it is. Like I was like, bitch, just climb it. Just climb over. What do you need a chair for? They're like, oh, it's not that game. I can't do
Listen, she's Princess Zelda. She's dainty and doesn't have Link's big muscles.
Yeah. It's like, oh, just climb it.
No, they brought back a lot of my favorite mechanics with this. Like traditional dungeons, is that a mechanic? Maybe not. Horse riding, I guess. Well, no, they had that. They had that in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So I guess that's not something that needed to make a return. I don't know. I like instruments. Give me the hook shot. Yeah, yes.
I was just thinking the hook shot. Yeah.
Yes, the hook shot. I miss it.
Hook shot was good.
They're so like allergic to bringing that back for some reason. Yeah. Yeah, traditional dungeons is the oldest thing to return. So true. I'm glad about it.
It was needed though.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to get back to the basics.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Our next question is from Lubber, in quotation, aka Tiny Era. What's your favorite Link voice from a game?
Link voice?
Uh-huh.
Like how his hayas sound?
I guess. That's the only way he doesn't talk. My favorite Link voice is from the cartoon series.
Excuse me,
princess.
Yes, that is objectively the best one.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what prompted that question, because you used that GIF when you were asking for questions.
Yes, it's amazing.
Doesn't
he talk in the what is it, the 3DO games?
He does.
Wanda Gamelon.
I don't think he does. I don't think he talks in those. Maybe he has like one line. But Zelda talks in it. Oh, okay. Jules is saying in CDI he does talk.
I thought I did remember that. Because I remember it being like incredibly awful. It's like really bad.
Everything about that game was incredibly awful. I don't know. Grunts and voice and stuff, I guess. Yeah. I mean, they all kind of sound similar to me. I like when it's young Link and he kind of sounds more boyish rather than like, like a grown dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any other
Zelda
answer.
does talk a lot.
She does. Yeah, she does. It's kind of funny seeing her as the silent protagonist this time. Like, she talks, like, you can see her kind of going like this to the guards, like she's explaining stuff. She talks with her hands. So she's not, like, silent in the game. But I feel like that's also kind of how Link is. You know, he does talk a lot in Breath of the Wild. You just can't hear it. So.
Yeah.
All right. What's our last question?
Our last question is from Keanu Meaves. Yes. Which bed would you rather sleep in? Old bed, soft bed, or Zelda's bed?
Well, obviously, Zelda's bed.
Of course.
Obviously. I know what he's doing with that question, but, you know, in actual seriousness, you can learn the echoes of more than one bed in this game. You know, we all learn the old bed in the very beginning, but eventually you can learn the soft bed, which it takes more of the little triangles to make it, but it heals you faster. Did you know that laying in the bed heals you?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so if you're ever like low on hearts, find a safe area and make a bed and lay in it, and it fills you up on hearts. The old bed, it takes a long time for the hearts to fill.
XBX asked the correct question. Can Zelda be there too?
I think that's what we're all thinking with spawning Zelda's bed. The soft bed, it goes a little bit faster to heal you. It just takes more of the energy to make it. And then finally, Zelda's bed heals you the fastest, but it takes the most energy.
Okay. That is cool.
Yeah. So it's a cool mechanic, because if you just lay in the bed in the middle of combat, the enemies are going to hit you. So, it's not like a perfect healing solution, but it can get you out of a pinch if like you're low on hearts in the middle of a dungeon or something.
Yeah, makes sense. Link doesn't talk and is named such because he's supposed to be linked to the player.
I like that he's a silent protagonist and that Zelda is too.
Yeah, he's us.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
his
always
voice
liked
supposed
that.
to be our voice. And I'm like, no, don't be my voice. My voice is terrible. Be your own goddamn voice, Link.
I realize that when they make that Legend of Zelda movie, they're probably going to give him a voice and he's probably going to talk. And I'm really worried about that.
I can't wait to hear Chris Pratt play.
Oh my God, stop it.
Hey, Zelda. Get this motherfucker off my screen.
Or Jack Black, like how he is in Minecraft movie.
Oh my God. I saw that in the theaters.
Did you?
The trailer.
Oh, okay. I didn't think it was that.
And I booed the screen. Like, get him the fuck off my screen.
I don't even think kids are gonna like it. I think kids are gonna find it a little silly.
As soon as I saw it, he's like, "I'm Steve." I'm like,
oh my God.
Enough.
Very curious. Very curious how that's gonna go.
Jack Black is in every video game movie now. It's getting a little annoying now. It was cool when it was Bowser.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay when it was Claptrap. Now I'm like, all right, bro. You can't be everybody.
He's everybody. He's going to be Link.
And you know what? I blame you guys for this. I blame all of you for this because y'all canceled the other guy from Tenacious D. And if y'all didn't cancel him, they could have been touring and doing other shit instead of doing all these goddamn roles.
That whole thing was so ridiculous. Yeah. People would have forgotten about it so fast.
Yes. We don't care. Bring Tenacious D back and get him back on the goddamn roll so he can stop making goddamn video game movies. Same with Chris Pratt.
Agreed.
Make him make another Guardians movie so he can stop making like Garfield and all this other bullshit. Please.
Boy, would he be unemployed if he wasn't doing video game stuff.
Yes. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
It's time to end the show.
All right. So we will continue playing Echoes of Wisdom. I'm hoping to beat it before next week, but of course I will not talk about spoilery things. I'll talk about a little bit more, maybe a couple dungeons in for next time so that y'all can have time to catch up. Delvin can have time to catch up. Donnie will come with his probably bad opinions.
Yes.
And we will talk from there. Anything to close off the show, Delvin?
That's it.
All right, then we will see you next time, Koopalings. Have a great week.
Whenever you're ready.
All right. This is Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening. And I forgot the line already. What?